Hello, my friends. I hope this video finds you well, happy, and safe. Today we're here for another flip through, this time of the Lotería 𝗔𝗰𝗵𝗲𝗏 Oracle by Selena Gonzalez. Artwork by 𝗔𝗿𝗰𝗵𝗲𝗏. I think it's Sotolo. Sorry, I can't tell. I wear bifocals and I need new glasses. This is a deck that is based upon the game of Lotería. Now, the game of Lotería for Mexicans, my parents played this with my aunts and my uncles. I had an aunt who actually read these cards as a divinatory tool. So when Hay House published this, I had to get a copy. And it's a really nice little deck. First of all, I'll talk about the quality of the deck. The cardstock is very, very good. I wouldn't say it's great, but it's pretty sturdy. Color reproduction is very lovely. I like the colors that they use, and it's very traditional looking, except they do add, in some places, some added symbols, like here on El Gallo, the rooster, there's an eye. You don't see that in the traditional Lotería deck, at least not in the ones I grew up playing with, but it's interesting. And the cards are measuring, let me find something to measure with. Okay. They are a little bit big, not too big, but they measure 3.5 by 5 inches. So they're good size. The images of the Lotería cards are simple. You don't really need such a big card for them. I've played with ones as a kid that were a quarter of the size of this, and there was no issue with seeing the details. So I really like, though, that they blew them up, bigger than life. And again, the colors are all nice and bright. That is in keeping with Mexican culture. Mexican people in their artwork really gravitate toward the bright colors. I myself am Mexican American. I love bright colors. I do find it very interesting that for this deck, the artist, his first name's Jose, his last name is Yamasaki. So I figured this artist is, from his name, I guess, half Hispanic, half Asian. I don't know. Interesting, though. Oh, maybe they say, whoops. Maybe they say something about him in the back. Let me check right quick. Oh, there's Selena. So let me see. Yeah, about the artist. Jose Sotelo Yamasaki is a San Antonio-based painter, screen printer, illustrator, and musician. He owns and operates Tu y Yo Shop, an exclusive online art gallery. His work is heavily influenced by Mesoamerican design, Mexican folk art, and Japanese Zen art. In this way, Jose's creations pay homage to his mixed ancestries. There you go. He's on Instagram at Jose Sotelo Art. That's really cool. And then Selena Gonzalez, about her, practicing the healing arts through writing and movement, a storyteller, dancer, and sought-after speaker. She centers self-love in her multidisciplinary workshops for all ages. She authored the award-winning picture books All Around Us, Where Wonder Grows, and Remembering. Her body of work includes poetry, essays, screenwriting, and visionary fiction. And you can also connect with her on Instagram at xfactor.live. So there we go. So now getting back to the images here, I'm just going to flip through them. Then I'm going to give them a good shuffle and see what they may tell us. Now, I haven't looked through it yet. This is part of a mega order I placed with Hay House when they had a sale at their website. I ordered 8 decks at a time. I've never done that before in my life. The most I've ever ordered at one time was 4, and that was an order from Llewellyn about, like, I don't know, 20 years ago or something, long time ago. So I have been working with these decks bit by bit. I've worked with 2 of them already. I like to work with a deck for about 2 to 3 weeks before I move on to another deck. So I haven't even really looked at this one yet. I'm just about to start to work with it. I like that they have, again, very simple, brightly colored images. The name in Spanish first and then translated into English. So La Bota, the boot, is the boot. Card number 22. Cards are all numbered. La Luna, the moon. El Cotoro, the parrot. El Borracho, the drunk. El Negrito, the black man. I'm surprised with how people get so upset about stuff relating to race. They kept this, but it is part of the traditional Lotería system, so I was very happy to see this card still in the deck. El Corazón, the heart. La Sandia, the watermelon. El Tambor, the drum. And then we go on and on, the shrimp. Las Hadas, the arrows. Musician. Araña, the spider. I can't stand spiders. El Soldado, the soldier. La Estrella, the star. El Caso, the pan. I wonder if they have a pronunciation guide, because in Spanish, like for Selena's name, I know it's Selena because even though it starts with an X, because in the Mayan language, the letter X is the phonetic sound SH or just S. So her name is Selena, or maybe she pronounces it Shelina. She might. I don't know. But I'm going to see if they do have a pronunciation guide in here. They really should. How to use the cards. Spreads. No, they don't. Maybe in the back. No. That's kind of a disappointment, because if you're unfamiliar with Spanish, you're not going to know how to pronounce some of these. There's little tricks to it. El Mundo, the world. El Apache, the Apache, obviously. El Nopal, the cactus. The scorpion. La Rosa, the rose. The skull. La Campana, the bell. El Cantarito, the pitcher. El Venado, the deer. El Sol, the sun. This is the center of the Aztec calendar stone. That's where that image comes from. La Corona, the crown. La Chapula, the boat. This is gorgeous. I love this card. It's so pretty, isn't it? Full of flowers. My husband and I just went out today and bought a bunch of plants for our patio. So, getting ready for the summer. El Pino, the pine tree. El Pescado, the fish. La Palma, obviously, palm tree. La Maceta, the flower pot. We bought some of those too. El Arpa, the harp. Like in Spanish, if you saw an H in a word, the H is silent. So you could actually spell that with an H, but you wouldn't pronounce it in Spanish. It would still be arpa. La Rana, the frog. Again, I just love the colors. Now for the card interpretations, let me take a quick look and see how they did that. I'll just open to one at random. They have the number of the card. They're all in numerical order. All the numbers are on the cards in the upper left-hand corner. So you have the name in Spanish, translated into English, and then you have 3 keywords. So like the ladder, elevate, improve, reach. And then you have a generalized meaning, and then you have in another light. So instead of them saying the shadow aspect of the card or reversed meaning, they have in another light. I really like that. I don't read reversals myself, but if it says it's in another light, or if it says something like it's the shadow aspect of the card, I do take that into account. The only reason I don't read reversals is because card images are artwork. Art is not meant to be viewed upside down. Now I'm going to give it a few quick shuffles and do a quick intuitive reading. Just what information our angels and spirit guides wish for us to know right now, a reading for the collective. Also, since I've never shuffled this deck, I expected it to be super, super difficult to shuffle. It isn't. And that's after me having had wrist surgery, so that's really saying something. My wrist has been healing up nicely. I'd like to thank each and every one of you who have been praying for me and sending healing and positive energy. I really appreciate it. I am actually a month and a half ahead of schedule in my healing schedule, so I'm doing really, really well. As you can see with how I'm shuffling this brand new deck that's never been shuffled before. Okay, one more shuffle and then I'll pull the reading. Now, I have not looked at these images since I was a child, so I have forgotten what the meanings are. I'm just going to go intuitively based upon the symbols on the cards. And as you recall, the symbols are very basic. It's very much like the Lenormand deck, where you get a very simple image or symbol on a card, and then it has a very, brief meaning just from the card, but then the meaning alters based upon other cards next to it, its position in the card spread, and so on. So this system probably works quite similarly to that. All right. The first card is 𝗔𝗶𝗃𝗲𝗏, the umbrella. So we have here the umbrella. You've got a rainbow with an eyeball underneath it and rays of sun coming up from the rainbow. And then, of course, raindrops all around. It's card number 5. Umbrellas, they protect us from the elements. The rainbow is an extremely positive healing image. It is the symbol of God's promise that he would never again destroy the earth by water. And the eyeball, to me, represents, divine connection, divine knowledge, wisdom. And so what it's saying here is protected from the rain, protected not just from the elements, but from energies we would prefer to not have in our lives. So when this card comes in, it's saying this stuff, this crud may be going on all around you, like all the craziness in the world right now. That's what I'm seeing here. But if we focus on our connection with the divine, we're safe, we're fine, we're surrounded by light. That's what I'm seeing with this card. Then we have La Sandía, the watermelon. Oh, I love watermelon. And let's see what I'm getting with this. Well, first of all, we have more rays of sunlight in this card, so it builds up from 𝗔𝗶𝗃𝗲𝗏. On this card, we have just very thin rays over here, very thick, powerful rays. So see the energy, the positive energy is building over time. Things are improving over time. The watermelon, to me, watermelon always represents summer. So this, to me, would be a timing indicator saying right now everything is looking rather dull and gloomy, but come summertime, and I'm talking like right at summertime, mid-June, around June the 20th, summer solstice, everything is going to be so much brighter and better. There's going to be some changes on the world stage. Things will be getting better. That's what I'm seeing here. And there's new growth, new opportunities coming in that I'm seeing with the vine here and the 5-petaled yellow flower, which is again another solar symbol. And the sun represents healing energy, new opportunities, blessings coming in, happiness, joy. It's a great card. Card number 28. And then we go on to El Caso, the pan. Well, it's really a pot, but okay. And we have, you know, two hands holding it. And we have steam rising from it. We've got the fire beneath it. And we've got these two plants growing to either side of it. First of all, what really strikes me about this card is the balance. You can cut it right down the middle, and the left is going to be just like the right side, you know, mirror image. That to me makes me think of, you know, the Justice card, the Temperance card of the Tarot. You know, Justice is fairness and balance. The Temperance card is harmony and all things in moderation. So it's a card of balance. It's a card of moderation. And it's saying that the right ingredients will come forth for the perfect mix. That's what I'm hearing. The right ingredients will come forth for the proper mix. And the mix will help with the mess of the first card. So this is the energy that's going to introduce these ingredients. And I'm seeing it as being on the world stage. And then the ingredients are going to be put into the pot and mixed in a favorable direction. Then what I'm getting is el tambor, the drum. The drum, to me, represents, first of all, in Mesoamerican culture, the drum was a war instrument. They would play the drums when they were going to go after their enemies. So it's saying, you know, we've got these good ingredients coming forward, and the time of going after one's enemies is going to pass. The need to play the drums is going to pass. Things are going to quiet down. So, which is really good. And you see that this image here and here, again, we get the mirror image. If we were to cut this in half, the left side would be the mirror image of the right side. And you may not be able to make it out, but if you cut right down the middle, you've got two little eyeballs here. You've got the nose, you've got a frowning mouth. That's like a war symbol. And then over here, this half-closed eye, there's teeth underneath it. Half-closed eye, teeth underneath it. This is one of the Aztec or Nahuatl war gods. So I forget which one. My specialty is not on the Aztec, even though my ancestry is Nahuatl. My specialty is with the Mayan civilization. On the eastern side of Mesoamerica, the Aztecs were in the central, where Mexico City is today. But it is a war deity that's on here. So that's interesting, isn't it? Just really cool. If you know something about the culture, you know, the images, you get more out of the imagery if you know a little bit about the culture. Then we have la pera, the pear. And again, the pear is sprouting. It sprouts 3 leaves. The number 3 is highly symbolic to Mexicans, to Central Americans in general, because it represents the Holy Trinity, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. So extremely positive blessings and a great deal of protection coming in. And it allows for more growth, more fertility, creativity. And that's what I'm seeing with all this swirl work around it. All this positive energy is going to come in, and it's going to really boost creative potential, and not just of individuals, but of world governments. And so what I'm seeing here is once the war drums quiet down, a great deal of positive growth in new directions is going to occur worldwide. And I think we're going to really enter into a very positive period in world history. And La Sandia would be a timing indicator. So I think that the shift in the energy is really going to start to get underway in mid-June. Now, as far as how long it would take to play out, when pears are ready to be harvested, when are pears typically harvested? Because, you know, these days they grow things in hot houses and whatever. We get, you know, our fruit year round anymore, you know, from our markets, our stores. So I don't know when pears are typically grown. I will Google it and I'll flash it along the screen, on the bottom of the screen. So, but what I'm seeing here is this is our timing indicator with the fruits. So you've got the shift begins, positive shift begins in summer, at the beginning of summer, so like I said, right around June the 20th, and it'll play out by the time pears are traditionally ready to be harvested. So that's what I'm seeing with the Lotería Remedios Oracle by Shelina or Selena Gonzalez, artwork by Jose Sotelo Yamasaki, published by Hay House. This was published in 2024. It's available at Hay House or on Amazon. I will always include an Amazon link to the deck I am reviewing. That is below. If you use my link to order, I receive a commission anywhere from 1 to 4.5%. You don't have to use it, but I would appreciate your support very much of my little channel here. Also, for further support, in the first comment below, I'm always going to have a link there for a 5 to 7 card tarot card reading. If you'd like to order or try out my readings, you can use that link. And based upon my work schedule, my current workload, I am filling orders for readings currently at the time of filming this particular video within a week. However, sometimes that can be as long as 2 weeks. It depends on how busy I am with orders. Book reading. Let me go through and see what the book says. Duh. You know, I just gave you my own intuitive take on them. Okay, real quick here. El Paraguas. The umbrella. Okay, it says there might be rain in your forecast. Skies are not always clear. There may be gray days, but also brightness and the hope-inspiring rainbow that often arrives after the storm. Surrender to the inevitable cycles of life, and you will find contentment in any weather. Preparation is your ally. When possible, protect yourself from stormy emotions, sources of danger, and minor annoyances. Consider the notion that you may be El Paraguas in this case. Have you been called upon by a loved one to provide protection or comfort? If so, ask yourself if there is room for 2 under your umbrella, and if so, take turns carrying this coverage. And then into the light, which would be the reversed meaning, the shadow meaning of the card. Quite often we engage in unquestioned habits or customs, such as reaching for an umbrella every time it rains. Put your sorry, that's a tongue twister. Put your paraguas aside if a good rain bath is what you really need right now. Water from the heavens can be incredibly healing. Our world abounds with blessings, yet sometimes we block ourselves from receiving them simply because we never pause to consider our regular customs and reactions. Interesting. Now we have number 28, which is La Sandia. Keywords, ideas, seeds, and sweetness. What does a watermelon summon for you? Thoughts of summer, coolness on a hot day, playing as a child? Tastes and scents are powerful in helping us recall memories, more so than the other senses. If La Sandia reminds you of pleasant times, which it does, take a bite soon. Comprised mostly of water, this bountiful fruit helps us to stay hydrated, offering loads of vitamins and keeping our gut in good health. A sandia is sweet, refreshing, and full of seeds with every bite. Well, not always. You can buy the seedless. If seeking new opportunities, you're in luck. There are multiple delightful possibilities greeting you these days. Keep your eyes open and you will find them. Just like a watermelon patch that is well cared for, your garden of gifts can grow quickly and abundantly when watered with gratitude. And then in another light, You may have been presented with a multitude of new ideas, perhaps too many. Some of these may be born of your own imagination, while others have been put in your path. Give yourself the time you need to sort through the options. Keep the ones that align with your instincts and your tastes. There's no need to hold on to what remains, since every seed bears fruit. Yeah, again, like I said, very positive card. And then we get number 33, El Caso. No, it's not 33, it's 36. Again, I need new glasses. Oh my goodness. Okay, I had cataract surgery, and all of a sudden I'm seeing better than I have in like 20 years. So I really need to get the new glasses. All right, El Caso, the pan. Keywords: cleansing, blend, and gratitude. A caso can be used for gathering, cooking, cleaning, and other chores. This card may be telling you it's time for some housework. Oh man, really? Okay. Maybe you've been asked to help clean up a mess, even if you're not the one who made it. Oh yeah, that happened to me yesterday. Or perhaps you've been so busy lately that it's time to slow down and clear your personal space. This is vital, as our surroundings often reflect our inner state. Taking time to sort our environment can help cleanse inner turmoil or confusion. Alternately, it may be time to carry your caso and collect what you need to make your next meal or manifest a new creation. What flavors or elements would bring the best blend to your table? See, and that's what I was talking about in my intuitive interpretation. Ask yourself what would be most wholesome for you right now, and then select your ingredients with care. Remember that fire, water, and the spices of life have the power to transform raw ingredients into something nourishing. And then we have In Another Light. Do you ever feel like your caso is empty? We experience lack when we lose focus of all that we do have. Sometimes life moves at such a fast pace that even a home-cooked meal seems impossible. Take El Caso as your cue to slow down. Imagine yourself carrying an empty caso in your arms and walking through the garden of your day. Take stock of your blessings one by one. See the void being filled with goodness as your inner space fills with gratitude, the most important ingredient for a delicious life. That is so true. Gratitude is just so important. Just list 3 things every day that can be your gratitude. And here we have El Tambor, the drum. Tempo, steady, and fluidity. That's interesting. Okay. Drumming is the sound of the heart. It is our first music and our last, living within us, allowing us to tune in at any moment. Take time to listen to this small miracle of time and essence. A tambor is also the heart of any musical collaboration or celebration. Every other sound relies upon its pulse. This card could be calling you to pick up the pace or slow it down. A steady beat is really all we need to maintain or to move with the fluidity through our day. This regularity allows the rhythm of life to soar on top. So stay consistent as much as possible. If something is offbeat or has caused a break in the flow of music, take time to assess the situation. Be sure you're vibing well with the people in your circle. Then take hold of those drumsticks and get the beat going again. You do not have to perform a solo or do anything fancy, just keep it steady. In Another Light. If the drum beat changes, the dance step must adapt. This African proverb reminds us to remain aware of any shifts in the music of life, which are natural and inevitable. We can embody the gracefulness of dancers by being flexible to these changes and moving with as much joy as we can muster. Whether you're marching along or catching a new beat, this card is a great sign to go listen to some live music, and by all means, dance to the beat of the drum. Okay, doesn't mesh with what I was saying, but that's okay. And then we get card number 15, La Pera, the pear, ripening, variety, and patience. La Pera's luscious shape reminds us of our sensuality. Relish in the softness and curves of your own body, or possibly the person who shares their body with you. Now is the time to explore the many shades of this voluptuous fruit, which can blush into bright reds, shine in golds, or glow any number of greens. Depending on the season and the type of tree, a pear's taste and texture can range from a tangy crispness to a sweet softness. Is it time to expand your palate or add some new flavors to your day? Even small changes in routine, outlook, or food choices can remind us that life is full of variety and that a simple taste test can bring freshness to our well-worn formula. In another light, an interesting quality of pears is that they do not ripen on the tree after picking. They need only time and natural temperatures to tenderize. When facing a big decision, be intentional in your choice, as it will be the impetus for the ripening process to come. And if you've already plucked a pear you like, such as an opportunity or a love interest, be mellow and in the moment. With patience, all will come to sweet fruition. Overall, my interpretation, the book's interpretation, very positive reading. Again, I hope you've enjoyed this look at the Lotería 𝗔𝗿𝗵𝗵𝗃𝗲 Oracle by Selena Gonzalez and 𝗔𝗿𝗰𝗵𝗵𝗃𝗲𝗍, published by Hay House in 2020. Was it 24? I don't remember. Yes, 24. So thank you for watching, my friends. Thank you to all who've already subscribed to my channel. I appreciate you all so very, very much. For those who watch who have not yet subscribed, please consider doing so. It's free. It would help to support me so much at no cost to you. I would so much appreciate that. And I'm wishing you all a very blessed day ahead.